Today at the Young's house, Jeannie Young's going to show you all how I like to make mustard fried chicken. When I tell you it's going to be good, oh my goodness. It is so flavorful just from using that mustard. Oh my goodness. A lot of people like to ask me, so is it going to taste like mustard? Absolutely not. It gives it like a umami taste. Make them say umami every time. This is such an easy chicken recipe you and your whole family is going to love. The crust is going to be crispy. The inside is going to be juicy, soft, and supple, and super flavorful. Here's what you're going to need. And alongside of the way, we're going to make up some green beans and some macaroni to go with it, right? Because I'm making dinner. I got some macaroni and I have some butter. I'm losing my voice. And I have some green beans here. The pieces of chicken that I'm using is chicken thighs. It is a bone-in, skin-on chicken thigh. I have that all-purpose flour that I'm using. Use what kind of flour you love. I will not be adding cornstarch to this recipe. Every once in a while, I'll make up a recipe and cornstarch is added to my flour, but not today, just flour. We're gonna be using mustard, your favorite mustard. Okay, I have my milk over here for my macaroni, of course. We have salt and pepper. We're going to be using Old Bay season to season up our chicken. Yes, it's not just for seafood, it's for everything. All right, I got some chicken bouillon powder we'll be using, and I have garlic and onion powder and paprika. Make sure your hands are clean. Let's make this fried chicken. The first things that I did for my chicken was I washed it off. Today I use apple cider vinegar. A lot of times I'll use lemon juice or lime juice, and what I do is I rub that salt on it with the cold water and the lemon or the lime juice. Today I use apple cider vinegar. I feel like it gets the meat nice and clean, right? You don't have to do it, but if you're that person, excuse me, that cleans the meat like I do, that's what you're going to use. Not only does it clean it, but it makes it taste good, right? So I use the vinegar today. I'm going to trim up the meat just a little bit, you know, just so it doesn't look like this, right? We got some fat going on here. I discard of that. Most of the fat is usually at the bottom. But I am keeping the skin on. I'm sorry I keep clearing my voice, but I feel like I'm losing my voice for some reason. So I'm not sick or anything, just losing my voice. Maybe I talk too much. Continue to trim up this beautiful chicken thigh, and we're going to season it very well. Now listen, when I season it, I want these seasonings to sit onto this chicken for at least a half an hour before we even begin to cook it. Because what I'd like to do, I want the seasonings to have a chance to really marry with the meat and go down into that protein. And also I want the chill to come off of the meat. I personally feel like when you let the chill come off of the meat, it cooks up better. If you're cooking meat and it's super cold straight out of the refrigerator, it's always going to be tough, right? So kind of let it hang out on the counter just for a little while. Taking a clean paper towel here, I'm just kind of blotting dry my chicken that I washed off just to make sure that it's not really wet, okay? So now we're gonna go right in with our seasoning, right? Let's make it taste good. Don't be afraid to make the food taste good, right? You gotta have that seasoning. You gotta not be afraid to season. I'm going in with a paprika. This is not smoked paprika, okay? All right, rarely will you see me use smoked, but there's some times that I will. Not on chicken though. Unless I'm making like an Indian dish, right? Like some butter chicken. All right, we're gonna go in with onion powder, and on purpose, you see I'm using a nice amount, right? We're gonna do the garlic powder. That's another onion powder. There we go, garlic powder, pretty heavy on it. And we'll flip it over and season the other side, okay? Lovely, I'm gonna put some salt. If you can't use the salt, you know, you gotta figure it out. Figure it out, right? We're going right in. Just like so, beautiful. I'm gonna find my black pepper. I'm not sure where it's at, but we need to get some on here. Go ahead and get that black pepper on. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna slather this. I think that's the word that I'm looking for, with some mustard, okay? And I'm not gonna use a ton of mustard. A little bit goes a long way. And listen, more than the flavor, I believe that the acidity that's within the mustard makes the chicken nice and tender, and I'm not kidding you. Look at that. That's plenty enough. We're going to do the other side too. Now, I have a silicone brush here. I'm going to make sure that I'm not brushing off all these spices. I work so hard to get them on there. So you kind of just dab in the mustard just like this. It smells gorgeous and it cooks up beautifully. Try mustard on your chicken next time you go to fry it. Let's flip them over, season the other side, and then we set it on the counter to just sit and hang out for a little while. What are you all having for dinner today? Today is just a regular Wednesday night, and I wanted to treat my family to fried chicken today. You know, they deserve it, and so here we are. We're in the kitchen making up some chicken. When it's the middle of the week, and I think of, you know, my side dishes, whether it's something like a rice-a-roni, maybe a mashed potato, or a lot of times for us, because we love the box macaroni. You know, you can make box macaroni taste delicious as long as you add some stuff to it. You know, when it's the middle of the week, I don't want to make a big pan of baked macaroni and cheese. You know what I'm saying? So I get, let me show you. These kind of macaroni and cheeses that has the cheese sauce, and it is chef's kiss. As long as you put something else in it, you know, put just some more cheese, put just some butter and some milk. But you know, the back of the package, they just tell you, put the cheese in and you're good to go. That's a lie. Don't you ever do that, right? Then it will be flavorless. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and season the top just like this. This is gonna be a quick meal. It doesn't take you forever in a day to make a fried chicken meal in the middle of the week so everybody can enjoy it. Something good to stick to their bones that they can enjoy. We're not going to be in the kitchen forever waiting on this to cook because it's an easy meal. Let's go ahead and put the mustard on the other side. And we're going to do that same thing. Let it set for 20 minutes. We're going to dredge it just in all-purpose flour only. Okay, and then before it goes into the oil, we shake it real good. What's the purpose for shaking it? Well, the reason why I like to do it is because naturally, when you put that chicken down into the oil, guess what happens? Some of the flour falls to the bottom and it burns, and it'll make your chicken have like a burnt taste. And I don't want that. So what I do is I make sure I shake that flour off as good as I can, and then that prevents me having a whole bunch of flour going to the bottom of the pan and burning, right? Yes. That right there is what I call well-seasoned chicken. All right, I'm gonna go in with that all-purpose flour, get it nice and dredged, make sure it's coating the bottom as well, you know. In the meantime, I have some oil over here on my larger stove. Now let's talk about something. When I fry chicken, just me personally, I like to use a lot of oil. And the reason why I like to use a lot of oil, because if you don't, let's just say you use this much oil to fry your chicken. The chicken doesn't have anywhere to kind of move up in the pan. So it stays down in the bottom and it's going to be burnt, right? Or the pieces of the chicken will be real dark, and that's not what I'm looking for. I want to have this much oil and my chicken kind of has room to float in the middle of the oil, right? And when it's doing that, it's not sitting at the bottom. So you get the gist of why I like to use a lot of oil, because some people like to ask me like, dang girl, why you use so much oil? That is the reason why. I don't want my chicken resting at the bottom of the pan, okay? Let's go ahead and get those chicken pieces right in. Oh yeah, that's a good sizzle. You hear me? Just like so. Chicken's frying up. The whole house smells amazing. Just that quick. And now I'm going to make up a quick thing of green beans that I make probably 3 times a week. I make these green beans. I do. I have holiday green beans and different green bean recipes where maybe we're putting some Joe bacon in there and some red potatoes. But this is just a quick and simple, easy green bean recipe that tastes good, especially when it's the middle of the week. That's the chicken bouillon powder that I use quite often, as you know. We're going to put some black pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, oh yeah, and then we're going to put 2 tablespoons of butter and let it simmer. And that's the green beans, but there's so much flavor in them. Let's make up our macaroni. I have my noodles. I'm going to salt the water. Anytime I make rice, potatoes, or noodles, I'm always salting it to give it some flavor. I don't want them to be plain, right? Okay, so now I have 2 cheese packets. I'll be using 2 full cheese packets. I do add the butter, and I'll be adding some milk. All right, so we're going to give this a nice stir around. These noodles only cook for 11 more minutes. When you cook them for 11 minutes, they cook to perfection. Quick, simple dinner for the middle of the week meal. This is what I was thinking. It's smelling absolutely amazing. We got to make our way over there. But in the meantime, I've drained the noodles, of course. I got 2 packets of the lovely cheese sauce. I'm putting in maybe 3 tablespoons of butter. My milk is warm. Okay, so I'm going to put that milk in. Oops, don't make a mess like I did. All right, get the rest of the cheese in and mix. Let's mix it together. There's nothing that I love the sound more of than mixing something creamy, dreamy. Oh, that sounds so good. creamy is that? Yes. These pieces are perfectly done. The more smaller pieces, oh yeah. The whole house smells absolutely gorgeous right now. As you can see, I'm putting it onto a cooling rack and a cookie sheet to allow that oil to drain. These bigger pieces, they have yet some time to go, but they look good. There you have it. Mustard fried chicken meal made quick and simple. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you ain't subscribed, what you waiting on? Tell your family and friends, tell the world what Gina's doing every single day in this kitchen. And Father, on today, we thank you for this meal, your hedge of protection and your mighty love. Father, we thank you for your lessons and your blessings. We thank you for everything you've done and what you're gonna do in our life. Amen. Listen, stay tuned because we're going to taste this. Taste just a little bit. I'm going right in for the macaroni first. The macaroni's calling my name. Oh, and the green beans. Oh, this chicken. Oh my goodness, so crispy. That's it. Make some.